Okay, here we go, folks. Do you want to, if you don't mind, I'll introduce you in the chat.
Fire away.
Okay.
They can't hear us, right?
No, they can't hear us.
Okay, so I already know my headline and line of play proposed here.
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea too.
Okay, me too. I would go with Nasser. I'd do a 4-4-1 with the one being in Austria.
That's exactly mine. And the Nasser play I'm far more confident of because we have a decall. Nasser often provokes a coup exchange. Just go ahead and do it, but this is sort of background for you. I don't always headline Nasser in this situation.
Really?
Holding Mideast is actually a negative for playing Nasser for me because Nasser is a way to frustrate a U.S. middle.
You think it's a coup target?
And it is a coup target, but I like it as a coup target here because we have decall. If we get a counter coup in Egypt, then our decall will grant us Thailand.
Okay. We are ops poor this time, though.
We are ops poor. I think we should be planning on using UN to play NORAD, or we should have that in our back pocket as opposed to the normal spacing.
Okay.
We might need those ops. I also think we should not be afraid to play China for ops if we need to with a hand this poor.
Okay.
But you can go with our headline at any time.
I think it's making, we have to wait for him to input his, this is unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, Marshall headline. That's too bad.
So, but that doesn't change our play, I don't think.
No, we still headline Nasser, right?
Yeah. Okay. It just means decall is not going to be able to threaten to go into France.
Right, which is too bad.
Yep.
All right, if you're thinking about our coup, I'm going to suggest we coup Iran.
Yep. Middle East is scoring this time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you want to have the first coup be with Cambridge 5, or do you want to use UN NORAD for our first coup?
Personally, I would hold NORAD in reserve and go with Cambridge. But Anthony, what do you think?
No, I absolutely agree with that because, we don't want to encourage them to play a 5-year plan, and then we'd have to play China just not to avoid a pass.
Right.
Oh, and I hadn't thought of that.
I had thought of that. And the other thing is it's our only 3 up in the hand.
Right.
Yeah.
We may have to respond to some attack at some point. Having a 3 is useful.
I think NORAD and UN may be our last 2 cards with this hand.
I see. Okay. That's good to know.
And
I was simply thinking in terms of if we coup at DEFCON 3, we want that to be the one that, the last coup to be with our better card. But
no, I think the other arguments are more pertinent.
No, that's helpful for me to know. Okay, so Cambridge 5 coup on Iran.
You got it.
Well.
All right. I've been practicing my
4.
my mouse clicking skills. So let's see.
Let's get a 4.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. No, instead I rolled terribly.
Well, you didn't do it. So it's not showing me the result of the coup.
Well, I'm afraid to tell you that the result was a 2.
Okay, there it is.
We do absolutely nothing.
I'm just a little surprised it didn't show up on my screen. That's all.
Sorry, but David, I can try to click more slowly. So
so it did show and you just immediately clicked it shut.
Yeah, I mean, it might have shown up for a second, but I will, because there's a lag here on the recording, I can play a little more slowly.
Okay, and it doesn't, in that particular situation, it's not on our clock, so
yeah,
you can leave it up for a second. So that does.
Malaysia, do we play decall right away or do we do another coup?
I mean, if they don't move to Malaysia, I guess there's no rush. But if they do,
I think it's decall.
Yeah,
so.
And I think personally, I'm thinking decall right away. But this is a great thing to discuss before it happens because we can expect.
I think they will, and I think I agree that we want to play decall right away.
Now on that decall, I'm thinking that we don't go into the 1BG Africas. Let's describe our decall. So Indonesia, Thailand, and I like Burma from here.
Okay.
Because
the only difference is I probably would have put one in Angola, but because he's going to get Angola anyway if we don't go there.
Okay, that's fine.
But I'm not hard over on it.
No, Angola is fine. I was thinking of Algeria just because, although we can't take France now, being adjacent is good for, another card like Suez or Socialist that might.
Right, but it's going to, hamper CIA play, and it doesn't give us anything other than, maybe Algeria.
Okay, so I'm fine. Go to Angola and encourage the coup.
Do you want Angola or South Africa?
Anthony's point on CIA is a subtle one. We'll expect to end the turn without a BG that would be vulnerable.
Okay.
Not holding Fidel, I only put some value on that, Anthony, but I'll go along with it for right now. I also think that him cooing Angola is a distraction. So go ahead and do it because it's our turn.
Okay.
So we're allowed to keep Angola. That also gives us Zaire at the same time.
Right. So we're doing Angola, Indonesia, Thailand, and now this leaves us nothing adjacent to Thailand if he does a coup of Thailand.
Okay, so maybe that's worth more than Angola then.
I think we don't go to Angola at all, and we just do Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Burma.
Okay.
Indonesia, Malaysia,
Thailand, and Burma.
Thailand and Burma. Okay.
And we're expecting him to coup Thailand here. With whatever his best card is.
Right.
But I would have expected him to coup Thailand anyway if they're an experienced.
Right.
Giving them the credit.
So this is the play?
This is the play.
Okay.
As soon as you got to click the commit. Yep. As soon as we can, we're going to need to. I'm a little uncomfortable with the fact that we didn't get a pip into South Korea, which is highly common for me.
Well, I actually think getting rid of Mideast is going to be our next priority.
Yeah, and playing it just like this is fine. We don't have the ops to reach for more.
And if you don't get rid of Mideast, you need to put something adjacent to Egypt, because otherwise we just get cooed out of it.
Yep. So, but we're likely to have pressure put on us in Thailand one way or the other.
Right.
He's going to put down another 4 up. So let's notice that we're getting a bit hosed here on both dice and cards so far.
Yes.
We had decall, which is nice.
Right.
But he's let off with 2 4s, and
correct.
And we have a total of 1 3, which costs us to play.
Well, we may need to play China on the next AR, in which case we can get some in South Korea.
Right. I think that was the point of me sort of prepping us for that discussion. So I don't think.
What are you going to hold?
Another 4, guys.
And we'll see what the roll is.
Oh, sorry, he got a 4, so he cooed us out of Thailand.
Wow. If he rolls a 3, so there's a half chance that we could use China to retake that. And now that's gone.
I have to play China or risk being dominated in Asia and Europe, which is pretty bad.
So play China. We take Laos. We put at least 1 in India. We put at least 1 in South Korea. And what do we do with the other 2, Anthony?
Well, we haven't seen Indo-Pak yet, so I wouldn't want to put more in India until you have at least Burma covered.
Right.
What about more in South Korea?
But that's what I was going to say. Is that more important than 1 or even 2 more? I think so. 2 in South Korea.
Looks like we still have 1 more.
Yeah. I mean 2 more in South Korea.
Oh, so we put 3 total?
Yes. Yeah. Because we don't have a big bank to go back to. We don't want him playing an IP war. You have to commit.
Right. All right. So this is the right play?
Yep. And give them a taunt about the all 4s attack. So. There you go. Excellent. I have to get our taunting. So I guess you're responsible for taunting then, Justin.
This is my job, right? Clicking the buttons and make the insults. You guys do all the thinking.
Okay. Well, not all, but works every time. Yes, it's just not possible to arrange. Okay, so if we end up saving 2, I think we'll only be saving 1 if we use UN, and I would think it would be special.
So
because
I prefer to play Formosa since we played China.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would hold special.
Yeah.
Special has it's a good space for next time. Or, if we end up headlining Suez, which is not ridiculous, we get to play it we have the chance to play it without cost.
Mm-hmm.
So our plan right now is to hold special and use UN with NORAD. I would note that since they've used Marshall, there's the only other one we would, big four we would want to use UN with is Japan.
That's Japan, yeah.
And
so I'm thinking UN, NORAD, and
right. We're hoping right now to get a chance to dump before he coups Egypt.
Yeah. Okay. Warsaw Pact.
So Warsaw, I like 2 into the battlegrounds and 1 into Yugoslavia.
Yep.
Okay. That sounds like a plan. All right. So do we contest Asia?
Yes. Yes,
I think we play Formosa right now. We take South Korea and we take Burma.
Okay.
What do you do with the second one? Is Burma right? Or
Burma's fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
The only other thing is it might be right to play into Lebanon with the second one.
Ooh, okay.
Or into Libya.
Yeah, I mean, we still have to play them in East. I'm not sure we want to get into, a coup war in Lebanon.
I think a coup war right now is a successful distraction. If he coups Lebanon, which he's going to get after, well, I'm inviting you to help think about it, but we could still dump Middle East after a coup of Lebanon. And he already has his MILOPS.
But we couldn't dump Middle East after a coup of Egypt. So while he's focused on Asia, I think that's our chance to drop Middle East. So we level things up in.
The only problem with not doing Burma is we're going to be in the same situation next time.
That's what I'm thinking. So if we take South Korea and Burma.
Go ahead. South Korea and Burma. That's fine.
Let's do it. All right.
You almost have me convinced there, but that's okay.
Anthony, that's okay with you, right?
It's all right. I think another minute I might have swung to David's position, but
okay.
Go ahead.
All right, that's Formosa.
Right. If we had a little more time to discuss these, it would be nice.
Yeah, I think the post-mortem hindsight might be that Lebanon was right here.
So. Yeah. I mean, I put it out for a reason, but there's lots of good things going on. I mean, they're not guaranteed to have Asia. They could be battling for Asia, thinking that we have
right.
Asia. I mean,
we drop Middle East here if we can. If it's if we still have Egypt.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, okay, so this is time to dump.
Okay, so dump Middle East.
Dump Middle East, and a moment of sadness that they got not just all the fours, but
also a really good
one. Right, exactly. I'd rather have seen CIA out of his hand or something. Okay.
So what do we do with? I mean, do we just space NORAD, or should we?
No, we
UN NORAD to.
We have only one play left. We're going to UN NORAD, well, it depends what he does.
India, if it's still available, I think India should be our choice.
I think India is, and then either Libya or Lebanon. We should be talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although,
now that we've already scored the Mideast.
Yeah, if I'm him, I'm kicking myself a little bit about not coupping Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot less effective than it was a second ago.
Yeah. We're still vulnerable. We don't have anybody adjacent to it, so I wouldn't want to be kicked out of Egypt. So I think Libya is really high priority here. India is too.
Right. So if the map looks something like this, like let's say he uses a 2 and rolls a 2 like we did, we should be ready with the move if the map looks like this of 2 to India and 1 to Libya.
Okay. So the Libya move is really about protecting.
On there.
What's that?
Well, I think I prefer Lebanon because that drops DEFCON to 2.
Okay.
That goes to Gaul.
He'll be back.
Okay, so
2 India and 1. Now we have to say Lebanon or Libya. I think Lebanon because otherwise he gets it for cheap.
Well, he doesn't really because DEFCON goes to 4.
Yeah,
and we kind of I like Libya better.
Libya better with DEFCON at 3. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could play Israel, but.
Okay, I like this. We good to go?
Yep. I think we're going to see a coup of Libya, but that's fine.
Yep.
Well, and if it doesn't, get all the way to control, even if it does, Libya is a better coup target for us than Iran.
Right.
Maybe it has to do with Vietnam or something, so he might not even get it.
Right. So if he coups now, he doesn't coup next turn.
Right. And we're happy with that too.
Because he already has his mill ops this turn.
Right. I think Vietnam to complete their perfect hand is somewhat likely. But gentlemen, we did a strong job to be in this good a shape in Asia with.
Yeah.
So you click on the card thing to see the discrepancy again. I mean, that's pretty violent. We got the event for decall, but outside of that, it's pretty weak.
Much the perfect U.S. hand. I would say, David, your idea of spending the point in Laos was, I think that's what's helping us. Okay, so we get Romania.
I think we were all going to do that, but yeah.
All right.
So what did they do with their last one?
They cooed Libya, like you predicted.
But they cooed it with, I didn't see it.
With Romania.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Perfect. All right. So, wow. I think Asia scoring is, let's see.
Well, remember he has Japan. I might headline Japan as them.
Yep, I might. Okay. So,
and we haven't seen Defectors, right?
Yeah, Defectors is still out.
So we can't headline it. Okay. So we're 1 minute ahead, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's my job. Sorry.
That's okay.
So I think I like Suez here. It breaks his adjacency to Lebanon. And so after we do the coup, we get and it breaks his special relationship, so we can use that for.
Yeah, I think the only other choice I would have is Olympic, which is a safe play because we have 5-year plan and duck.
Yeah, but yep. But that would be my second choice. But I think I strongly prefer Suez. And there's a half chance we're going to get defected.
Well, I like Suez because he has not gone out from Israel yet, and that's a mistake on his part.
It is a mistake on his part, and we need to capitalize.
All right. So Suez, even if there's a chance we could get defected.
There's only a 1 point difference between Olympic and Suez. And besides, I have a career of losing Olympic games that I initiate.
Okay. Well, in that case, Suez it is.
Although that might be distorted by
you called
the fact that some of the games are with Anthony. Okay, what happened? They did. Yep. A nice call out. Anthony gets credit for that one.
I'm guessing 2 France, 1 UK?
Nope. I would go 1 France, 2 UK so we can play
special relationship
without.
Good call. That's the other benefit to Suez is this becomes
right. Now, Anthony, do you concur with that? If we had an adjacency to France, yes. I would feel differently about it.
I'd use special immediately now.
So. I would use special right now to coup Iran.
Iran or Panama?
Or Panama. I like Panama.
Okay. Because CIA. Okay.
Again.
And also, he didn't go to Costa Rica. My signature turn 1 play.
Right.
Okay.
The little elbow of Costa Rica. All right. So coup Panama with special relationship.
Yes.
All right. Here we go.
And roll a 4 better this time.
I'll see what I can do this time.
And we're doing fine on time. We're not doing,
Oh, joy! A big result.
Right.
And a result that's bigger in Panama than it would have been in Iran, where he.
So it does mean we probably don't want to hold duck because we've already expended China unless they give it back to us.
We want to hold 5YP. We're likely to have scoring. There's likely to be a scoring card we want to dump.
Yes, we do have to worry about
we can draw Europe or something.
So we should space duck probably at our earliest opportunity.
They're a spot ahead of us on the space racetrack.
Yeah, so we're going to do what we can by spacing duck.
Okay.
We get to dump Truman. We need to stay alert for the right time to play Asia. We don't want him. I mean, he could play into Thailand now.
Yeah, and we don't have a good response. So I think Asia the dumping is the priority.
Asia dumping is the highest priority. If he plays there, then we're going to use 5YP to dump Asia this turn.
Right.
Okay, we lucked out here. So he's moving into Africa, but we play Asia now, correct?
We play. What do you do?
That or we plan on holding it, which is dangerous.
Oh, you're thinking with 5-year plan, Anthony?
Yeah, 5-year plan, which commits us to not playing any real loss.
No. I feel strongly about 5YP for next time.
I agree.
Europe is he didn't play Europe.
Right.
And what he did was not time sensitive. What was the thing besides Angola?
Looks like Angola, and Greece. So
Okay.
nothing really.
Oh,
so we
no. Greece gets him Dom of Europe. So we broke his Dom of Europe. So he might very well hold Europe right now. But
Oh, I see.
Still, it could come back next time. I like 5YP for another subtle reason, which is 5YP is favorable for us with the early war deck. There's virtually nothing that can burn you there. Even if you get CIA with it, which is a high possibility here, you can space 5YP. But I mean, maybe we are a little vulnerable, but Duck, we could get Duck and CIA.
It'd have to be both.
Right. And both,
Okay.
but 5YP is very dangerous later in the mid-war deck. So I like getting it out on turn 3.
Okay.
Okay.
So with that logic, you got to play Asia right now.
Let's do it.
Play Asia right now. So
you're okay with that, Anthony?
Yes.
Do you like that, or would you have waited, Anthony? Would you have dumped this turn?
But I think it's fine. If you're holding 5, you're playing. You have to play Asia right now.
Yes, but the question is, should we have played 5YP at the end to reduce our?
I'm not sure that we're still decided on it yet, because we may have to. We can always play it with Truman now. It'd be a fine play.
Okay, so let's space Duck now.
Space Duck.
Wait. Oh, he can't go into Lebanon. Okay, good. He's not next to Lebanon, so
that was one of the magics of.
So we're spacing Duck and cover.
Yep.
Spacing Duck. Get our obligation out of the way.
And hopefully advance on the track.
All right, we're a minute and a half behind them. We're not in bad shape, but
okay. I'm thinking next, finish taking Libya and play into Lebanon.
Lebanon, yep.
Yes.
Libya and Lebanon with. Do you guys have a preference? Korean War, Olympic Games, or doesn't matter?
Yes, Olympic Games, because you don't want to reveal.
Okay. In case they want to.
He might get aggressive in South Korea once he sees Korea.
That's exactly right. So I would use, when it comes time, I would use Korea to overprotect North and South Korea.
All right, that makes sense. So they get their second space shot.
And we missed ours, apparently.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, let's keep going here.
All right.
Korea into Libya and Lebanon. So we've had a lot of unfortunate randomizations here. It would have been lovely for Europe to either be in our hand with 5YP or not to come out this round.
Yeah, the VP track doesn't look great. But the board looks good.
The board looks good for the disparity in cards.
We need this D-stall is what we need in this panel to fund.
Right.
And they've already played Blockade, so
which is sad for us.
Yeah. So we can't
we can also get a Europe disruptor. The other reason I was very sad to see Europe come out now is there were the socialist government was still in there, and we could draw De Gaulle back to break Europe for next time, but we'll see. Well, we have 5YP now.
All right. So
I think it's Korean. I think it's Korean War to do the double protect. He's probably using Vietnam on his last one this time.
Okay.
Do you agree with the overprotects in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yet another 3 from their hand. This is really rough. So while they're doing their turn, can you click on the top middle that shows their card? You have to commit. Yep.
I did. Okay. Well said.
I think we're losing some time on the delayed commits, but yeah. So they swept the 4s.
Yep.
They did they? Oh my gosh. So click on 1. I think there's 1 4 still out. NATO.
Yeah.
NATO. Yep.
Which we didn't get, so they could still have.
Right.
We did get decal though.
Yep.
Okay, here's containment, so that'll go back in the deck.
3.
Right, another 3. It's just been ridiculous.
There's so many ops that didn't even need to play containment. All right, so what do we do with Truman Doctrine?
You could take Turkey to contest Europe next time. If we can attack France, we can.
Ironically, Anthony, they could just. Oh, so we would play event Truman first and then play into Turkey.
Well, we get 2. Oh no! That containment is his.
Yep.
Yeah, you play Truman do the event first and then play 1 into Turkey. I'm not sure I like that better.
I mean,
Israel's another choice.
I like Israel.
Right.
I would even give a passing fancy to Formosa.
For Taiwan? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're still at.
Country count is 3, 4, 5, 6. That'd be the 7th. And we expect to get Vietnam. Okay, so that might be 8 countries.
Okay.
Well, I'm asking for help on this, Anthony. Mostly, I'm afraid of the Formosa League.
That means he's not playing China. Okay, yeah, putting one in there is fine.
Or Israel. Israel's another good one.
Israel, before the mid-war, we want one in Israel. So we got another turn.
I'm happy either way. I think we're going to feel a little bit bad if he plays a 3 and 2.
Yeah.
All right, so one in Formosa. It's not a big deal.
Yep. Okay. But what I'm really expecting is a 2. I'm expecting Vietnam here and Algeria.
Yeah.
Although if I was him, I would give passing thought to.
I'd be overprotecting France. He doesn't have.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Depends how aggressive they are, but I think the right move here is Vietnam overprotecting France by 2.
And he also should be moving out to Zaire. If he steps into Angola, he should be, because now we have a great coup target.
So Vietnam is 1 to Zaire and 1 to France, still vulnerable to de Gaulle, which would be nice for us to get a break on.
That's right.
But right now we have a single great coup target, which is kind of always wrong.
We still haven't seen the Factor, right? So
correct.
Right. Yeah. As him, I would not have stepped out to Angola. It commits him to Zaire, and it gives us a great coup target when we now don't have one after Panama.
I guess there's always Iran.
There is always Iran, but it's not a great one, surrounded as it is.
Yeah, it's true. It's surrounded.
And we're getting to the point where you might as well let it fester for hostages. I mean, we'll do it, and it could give us Dom, and that would be wonderful, and it could help with OPEC. So those are all good things, but it's not as good a good target as, say, Angola or Zaire.
Right. You're right. So Anthony, or I'm sorry, David, you're saying you typically wait to move into Angola and Zaire until.
Well, I do, but I've lost some games to people who are aggressive in Africa and have it already controlled by.
So modern thinking is that you get very aggressive as the U.S. in Africa. I've seen people take all of it in the early.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I've seen it too.
Okay.
The funny thing is, though, that only is helpful if Africa comes out early. Even by turn 5, the events from that hit Angola and 2 rounds of BG1 coups, if you get them.
Yeah.
Folks, since he already has Romania, are you okay with 1 in each of the 2 battlegrounds, East Germany and Poland, and then Yugoslavia?
Yugo and Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia helps sometime in the realignment wars.
That sounds good to me.
We did get CIA. We did get D-Stall, though. That's good.
Yep. We get NATO, so we get our first 4.
And we have UN to go with it.
Yeah.
We have a headline, though.
Well, I think we have a kind of tough situation. Yes, we know he holds.
We can't risk D-Stall. So the only other one is Arab-Israeli war, or
I vote CIA.
No, if he has duck, he wins.
If he redraws duck and cover, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Can you click on the thing? How many hold cards were there? Let's check that out.
How many hold cards were there?
Click on the 3, and that'll tell us how many, not hold cards, discards. So they drew 3 from a deck of only 14. So we had 11 removed, where galactic average is 8, or a tiny bit less than 8.
We know that they're holding Defectors, Fidel, IP War, and Vietnam Revolts.
Yep. Boy, it would be nice if we had RSP with a stack of 2s.
Right, because I'm thinking, all right, well, he could see that could. I'm trying to think of likely U.S. headlines. So one could be Purge, but you're right. Duck and cover is a likely headline, so we can't get too.
I think if he has duck and cover, he plays it, knowing that we have CIA.
Especially where he's got the.
I think he's probably going to go IP War.
Okay.
I think CIA is worth some consideration here, Anthony. We don't want to put D-Stall on the table because of the high probability of.
Well, I agree with that.
Defector. So you just want to go AI War, which has a 3rd chance of getting us. You know what? We're going to need IP because we're going to play CIA. and he's going to get the coup rather than us.
Only no ops for the turn.
Yeah, and you know, I thought about it at the time, but I didn't mention it, that going to Costa Rica was another play for Truman. But okay, so I vote AI war right here.
Yeah, me too.
Unless, folks, are we thinking about UN on CIA?
No.
Possibly. If he plays duck and cover, we certainly are.
Yes, we're glad to have it in our back pocket, but we'd rather get CIA out now. We're just a little bit sad that Panama's so vulnerable, but we do AI war because we're not going to get mil ops out of.
And we are.
So AI war.
So
go AI war.
Here we go. All right, so dueling wars.
Yeah.
Anthony calls the IP, which I also agreed with, but yeah, we really need them to fail this.
Yeah, let's hope.
They've had enough. Oh my gosh.
And we miss ours.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Okay.
That's the same story in space.
I still think we play CIA.
CIA, and then it's time for a taunt. So,
all right.
You know,
I'll see what I can do about the sixes.
So, wars, space track, we miss, you hit. Whether it's wars or space track. Well, this has really is getting somewhat extreme on the luck scale, Anthony.
The night's young.
Yes. What did they say? Did they give us a taunt back?
They just said that their strategy of drawing all the fours works every time.
Okay.
So, folks, are we thinking of do we UN NATO or do we just let it go up?
we UN NATO.
Okay.
Well, if you UN NATO, you have containment and 5-year plan you have to handle. So
I give them one more pip for containment than they would normally get.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can help me with this, but
yeah,
you know, I don't like giving up special, and I do like having Brush of Italy as a possibility. Although right now Thailand would be our target, but
just to think ahead here, I'm guessing we clear out Romania and what?
Well, because we have to play Reds, I would probably take the one out of Czechoslovakia. But
Romania and Czechoslovakia.
Yep.
And where do you want to go with our points?
So no, I would take the one out of Yugo. I don't want him to make progress on being adjacent to Italy, and we might want to. So I would take Finland, Czech.
We're going to CIA first. It's our play on CIA.
David, do you want to go to that Costa Rica play you were talking about?
It's less urgent now. What did they do with theirs?
They just cooed us in Panama and they failed.
Okay. What's your inspiration here, Anthony? You know, it's possible we should play into
Israel is my thought.
Okay.
What's
our plan for avoiding Dom of Asia?
Oh boy. Well, they're going to give us Vietnam at the end of the turn. You're going to have to take Taiwan if you want to. Or Malaysia. Malaysia and Taiwan are the.
Okay, we could talk about. So go ahead and do
Israel.
Israel. Yep.
Okay.
So I think if we have a free play, we want to take Asia on our next play.
You want to take Asia.
Malaysia.
Okay. So Malaysia. Okay. So exactly what do we want to do right now?
Power to go for any battleground. He still has China.
So we UN NATO to Malaysia to Thailand?
You know what? It doesn't do it. If he has Asia scoring, he still scores it.
He scores it right now if he wants to.
Well, I think he does want to if he has it. I'm changing my vote to destall right now, and we spend our points really buffing South America.
Okay.
What do you guys think about a point in Mexico? So if we destall into Venezuela and Chile, one Mexico, one Nigeria. Oh, he's got it.
No, oh, it was his turn. Okay, so that settles it. I was right that if he had Asia, it's okay.
Yep.
So I like destall here, and it's too easy to get real. I don't ever go 1-1 in the Brazil, Argentina, but I do think a pip in Nigeria might be right here to prevent control in What do you think, Anthony?
I like that, especially given that we're at 15 VP here. So
right. So Brazil, Venezuela, Chile, and Nigeria.
yeah.
And you're okay with taking 3 out of Romania and 1 out of Yugoslavia?
Yes.
Or do you want to take it out of Czechoslovakia?
I would take. You know what? It's not worth the time, but I would have taken Finland over.
We have time.
Okay, so
the way we're going, guys, we'll be done in 10 minutes.
I would take. I would take Finland, 2 from Romania, and I guess Yugoslavia, because we're going to give up Reds.
It was 1 here. All right, does that look all right? Or no, what do you guys think about Mexico?
I think it's more important to get. We're trying to not lose right now.
Okay.
And you're going to draw liberation. That's our plan.
That's the plan. Okay. All right. So we're going to commit to this.
Yes.
Yep. And he has Fidel, which he could space, but which he could also yield to us.
Well, he gets 2 space attempts if he wants them.
Right.
So for us, I mean, the other thing we could have talked about was,
Oh no, guys, this is the game.
Oh, well, we have plenty of time.
Wow.
So we only had 4 draws, right?
Yeah, I think they have a little bit to be sorry about here.
It's okay. We didn't get a chance to play, but.
Well, so let's talk a little about things they did that were actually suboptimal. I guess it's hard to go backwards here. And my clicking on the thing to get out of the way isn't going to do anything.
No, that's not going to help. So is there anything we really regretted about our own play? I'm not sure I see anything big. I mean, there's little IP differences I would have done, but nothing major.
Well, give me an example of an IP difference you might have done differently.
Well, I mean, we just talked about
Formosa to Costa Rica.
Formosa versus what? Israel. We ended up going to Israel anyway.
No, Costa Rica is the only place I thought. Costa Rica, because we know that there's a half chance we're going to give up the CIA coup.
Right.
So and that's a subtlety, and we didn't pay for it. But I thought we played. What's that?
They missed their coup roll, so it didn't hurt us.
Right, but it's still I think a subtlety. Yeah, I said I think we didn't pay a price for it, but I think it's a slightly more accurate play. We could have been. I mean, we just didn't have the ops for this, but it sounds odd, but using that setup and then Marshall and then walking away often does leave Europe actually less buffed, less overprotected. But the thing is, there's just nothing you can do against an op discrepancy that huge. We never got to actually play a 4.
Right. I mean, so if I go in the way back machine here.
So I think the Thailand play is what cost us. We put 1 in Thailand, he hit the big coup, and we were just sunk in Asia.
So would you have not done that, or?
Well, I don't know what happens if we don't. He has to coup a non-battleground. Then what do we do? Or does he step into it with 3 himself?
He steps into it with 3 or 4 himself. I mean, he used a 4 to coup it.
Right. So he just put all 4 in Thailand, and then we're stuck.
Right. So I think that's less. That doesn't require any luck at all. Whereas what he did required some luck. They had to roll a 4 or better to do it this way. In fact, I'm not sure that what they did isn't a mistake. With that same 4 card, they could just play 4 into Thailand and,
No, then we just coup with China.
We would have
coup with China, and it's a half chance on us.
Yeah.
And actually, kind of more than that. If he rolls a 3, that's 8, and that still leaves it not controlled. He has to roll a 4 to take it, which is similar. I guess it's a half chance either way. And maybe you'd rather get the mill ops yourself, but but either way, that's, that was a half chance roll. I mean, I don't think standing aside from it helps there.
Right. So the other alternative could have been, because we haven't really talked about controlling scoring cards, because if I look here, we held Middle East in turn 1, and then we each held one in turn 2. So if we knew he was going to play Marshall, which we did because of his opening setup, we could have headlined decall from the beginning, but I don't think that would have made a difference either.
So it might have helped, but people have, quite a few people think they're cunning by setting up for Marshall and playing defector.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
The ways in which our hands are a sadness for this are pretty profound. One thing I like to do facing that Marshall is to play one of the cards that hurts France or.
You have to have one of them first.
Yeah, which we didn't.
That's what I'm saying is, so with 3 of them to hit, we didn't have any.
And, so our opponent was taking a pretty big, because it wasn't like he had them in hand, right? It's not like he was holding De Gaulle and Suez. He just got lucky that we weren't holding.
He had De Gaulle. De Gaulle went to Romania, blockade.
The blockade, right?
Okay. I'm not seeing.
He did have one of them, and that is a big factor.
That's true.
All the time in that situation.
Yeah. Well, also because he has so many other ops.
Right.
It's not like this is going to cost him. And it's not like he's worried about a Marshall versus blockade. He's holding.
Hang on just a second.
He doesn't want to give us a free video.
Hey, David and Anthony, just a second, guys. I just noticed that Joe just signed on.
Yep, I got in here. Am I muted?
No, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Unfortunately, for all of us, though, Joe, we've already lost. So we needed your good luck to pull through, but we're just doing a post-mortem on the game.
And did you stop the recording?
No, actually, if it's okay with you, David, I think this is interesting.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep going with our kind of discussion of the game, and maybe the people that watched our untimely demise, could watch our kind of post conversation.
So Anthony pointed out that the half chance coup in Thailand is a really big one, and we were somewhat prepared to take advantage. If he falls a little shy there, we are going to play China to hold it. But they also got the 1/3 chance of India, which is necessary for their early victory. So the IP war, which often figures in, if you a steamroller on either side, it seems to me is often triggered by a successful IP war.
Joe, what we're talking about here is that we lost here in turn 3, and that's mainly because, as you can see on the screen, the ops discrepancy, especially in the opening hands, was so huge. And then what David's pointing out right now is that in turn 3, he headlined IP war and had a 1 in 3 chance of flipping us in India, and he got it. So that's those things put together, combined with some lucky space rolls and some good coups. That's what.
So the IP roll there is worth 8 victory points all by itself. It gives Dom, which is 4. It flips a BG, which is 2, and the war itself is 2. That's an 8 VP swing.
Yep, that's huge. That one roll. Right.
I mean, if we're standing at 20, now we could have taken on our. So, can you show turn 3 again? The summary. Sure. So we got 1 play of D stall. We could instead have taken out or tried to take out an insurance policy versus Europe. Europe is the only card on turn 3 that scores and wins for him. Now, to talk about sort of lucky things, he drew that back on 3 draws out of a deck of 14, which is, that's about a quarter.
How do you stop Europe, David? I mean, I see you could delay it 1 AR by taking Turkey, but then he just fills in UK and Spain.
No, the only thing you can do is, and I don't think that this would necessarily work, is to say, we think we can win an op competition with you at -1. I mean, I didn't even suggest it because you're probably mortgaging your future to do that. But And, I think what we did is actually the best chance. They just have to not have Europe for this one round, and then we start next turn with South America, not just controlled but slightly buffed.
What did turn one look like, guys?
Here's what it looked like. Our cards are at the top here, Joe, and theirs are at the bottom. So at the beginning, they had a martial opening. And
right. So we did Nasser, and then our coup failed. So, if we roll a 4, 5, or 6 for Cambridge, we're talking an entirely different game as well.
Right.
There was no ops there, was there?
There's not only no ops, but here's how the coups went. So Cambridge fails on a 2, which leaves Iran not just still with presence, but with control, which otherwise he has to do something about. If we roll even a 4, he's got to spend a mill op there, or our Middle East is going to score with no presence for him. So he plays his second 4 and plays into Afghanistan and Malaysia, and a pip into. Did he put a pip in Pakistan?
Let me see. I can check.
No, he didn't. He did 2 Afghanistan.
He did 2 Afghanistan and 1 Malaysia. What was the 4th?
You're talking about AR2?
Yep.
Oh no, that was his coup of Thailand.
No. Earlier than that.
Earlier than that?
His AR1.
Afghanistan, Malaysia, and Iraq.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he put 1 in Iraq. Okay.
So one possibility is, rather than playing decall, we could have stepped into Afghanistan and threatened Pakistan since he wasn't there. I'm not sure if that buys us anything.
With a higher mill op hand, I might buy that. But here, he
Yeah, we can't afford to be paying 2 for 1. Which
right. And he's going to respond by simply playing either a 3 or a 4 into Thailand. And if we try our coup, he just walks into Pakistan. And if we don't try our coup, then, or if we, then he's got Thailand. Then he coups and he has Thailand.
Here's the only other possibility that I'm thinking is, when we did play D-Style, we wondered about placement, and we were trying to fight him in Southeast Asia, and we never got France adjacency. So what if we had put a point into Algeria in turn 1, and then when we did play Suez in the turn 2 headline, we could challenge him for France, but he had overprotected France by that point, if I'm remembering.
No, he still hasn't overprotected France. I mean, he had it as a 4, but we would have shifted our Suez. So that's not a bad point. Well, Algeria was one of the options we discussed, and we ended up not doing it out of fear of CIA, which we did draw.
Look at that turn 2 hand. You don't have the ops to challenge.
No, I think Anthony's right, because although
we don't even have a 4.
Yeah, we were holding Truman, we would have needed a 4.
Right.
So, so if in turn 1 we had not played China, that would have been our only chance to really stop 2 European dominations.
Well, right, but at the expense of giving away, without even a fight, in Asia that we actually successfully stabilized with fighting. I mean, the fighting meant that we had 3 BG. We just, they got a 1/3 chance on the IP war. And I do devalue those 2 because of the instability of the IP war. But if you're going to contest Asia Dom, you find yourself doing that sometimes.
You're talking about the play into Burma was what got us into India, and it took an unlikely coup roll or an unlikely IP war for him to take it.
He has to both draw it and win it.
Yeah. So I hear that, but I'm wondering if I mean, this is all, of course, hindsight, but I'm just wondering if that's the only thing that we had debated that could have gone differently in my
right. And the idea that we were CIA vulnerable by doing that, by the time CIA came out, we were already vulnerable by having Panama.
Sure.
Which was always a possibility. So I would have been comfortable with.
We dumped CIA for virtually no damage. I mean, he knew our cards anyway, and we didn't do anything on the coup.
Right, but the question is, would a pip in Algeria have made any difference? No. And I would say it had a good chance to make a difference, But in the hand that has no fours and no China card, it actually wouldn't have.
Right.
We didn't even have any playable threes. Once you play Suez to knock France down to 2, you don't even have another playable 3.
Right. I mean, go back and look at our hands. I mean, using UN with NORAD is a statement about how poor your hand is.
Yeah, that's true.
So, on turn 1, we have only 1 3 or 4. While and to do it, we have to use UN where we would really like to have had a space. So we don't get a space off on turn 1 either.
Right.
And we're facing 4 4 4 3, and then that 1 is a precious 1 Nazi, and 1 blockade. He got it away as cheap as you can. So I mean, that's just an awesome sequence. Romania is the only weakness in the hand, and as them, I probably wouldn't have left it till last. But hey.
Well, guys, I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks for not only playing but also for sharing your thoughts.
I do apologize for missing the game, guys.
Oh, they're always fun, and there's fun stuff to look at here.
I think I'm convinced we don't have any structural problem with the team. I think I would love to play this team again sometime.